Hello, good evening, everybody. It's RS Mallory. It is October 10th already. And I'd like to say that I'm very grateful that the people in Florida who have lived through two horrible hurricanes in the last 2 weeks seem to be coming out the other side. And most people, although they sustained some losses, um, very few people were hurt or were killed. So what I'd like you to do before we go into the training is say a prayer for all the folks in Florida and South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia from Hurricane Helene. And if you can find it in your hearts to donate some money to any of the good causes to help these people recuperate, that would be a blessing and a very good thing to do. We are almost on the eve of Yom Kippur, which is where we Jewish people around the world get inscribed and sealed in the Book of Life, asking for a good year. We ask for forgiveness. We also decide how we are going to live ourselves and make ourselves better people. So one of the ways that we can all do that is to focus on helping other people in need. So tonight, I'd like to talk about motivation, why, and Frederick Nietzsche. Many of you have not heard of him, but many of you will recognize that he is a philosopher. Sorry, Kitty. He is a philosopher from the 1800s. He was born in 1844, and he was a very interesting guy. He had some very interesting takes on life. But one of the quotes that he said is very profound, and it struck me that it's a very poignant quote that can be applied to life in general, and also for those of us in the direct marketing industry. And that quote is by Frederick Nietzsche: "He who has a why in life can he who has a why in life can tolerate almost any how." So that's very interesting, isn't it? He who has a why in life can tolerate any how. The translation of that is, if you have a large enough and a big enough and why for what you're doing to meet your goals, then whatever you have to do to get there, whatever steps you have to take on your journey will not only be worth it, but they will become self-evident. What I share with people is I want to know what their why is, what their motivations are, and then I let them know that I have the how. I can show them how to do that on their path and on their journey. Some people come with a lot of skills, some basic skills, life skills, which are very, very important in dealing with the public and in direct sales and direct marketing. And some people don't come with those skills, but if they're teachable and they're open to learning, and their why, their motivation is large enough, then we can get where we want to go. So what you need to do is make sure that you let people understand that you're reaching out your hand to them, and that you have the how. You have the pattern, you have the template to show them how they can get from A to Z, whatever their goals are. It's very important that you have discussions with them and building your personal relationships with folks to make sure that you understand exactly what their motivations and their whys are. Some are very strong. I did a training on Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful. One of his strongest why in life was because his dad told him that he wasn't good enough. And I shared with you that I had the same thing happen to me with my dad as well. So that became a very big why for the both of us. I enjoy cooking, so I watch Gordon Ramsay, the master chef, and all of his shows. And it occurred to me that each and every one of those contestants, those people, the ones that sustain and make it through to the end and indeed are the winners, and those people who are the last 2 or 3 or even 5 people, much less the master chef for that year, are all winners. And the reason is because they had a big enough why to sustain them through the entire season of the competition and doing the things that they needed to do, learning and picking up new skills along the way. And they had a mentor along the way to show them how to do it, somebody who guided them, and they learned new skills as well. And that was Gordon Ramsay. Sports people, Michael Jordan, some of the people, more recent people today. I don't follow too much sports, but those of you that do will know who they are. They have an incredible why, and they're very, very competitive. And so they want to get the Heisman Trophy in football, or they want to win become the hockey, the hockey champions or the basketball champions and win the Final Four, et cetera, et cetera. They have a goal that they want to meet. They have a big why. That's a motivator, and it will get them through. It sustains them through. For instance, the sport people, it sustains them through the pain, the exercising, the learning, the practicing, the performing, everything that they need to do to get where they want to go. Whether it's sports people or MasterChef contestants, or Kevin O'Leary, or myself, or you, ladies and gentlemen, we all need somebody to help guide us and to show us the proper steps that we need to take on our journey and help us so that we can learn them or add to the ones that we already know, and to help us sustain staying on that pathway, because you can't jump into any kind of a profession. And indeed, direct sales and network marketing is also a profession. You cannot do that and expect that you're going to jump right in and within 3 weeks, poof, the glitter is going to come down and you're going to have made $1 million. That's not going to happen. It will take years for that to happen, but you have to build on that every step of the way. So every step of your journey builds onto the last one, and it helps you get stronger and stronger. So it's very important that you define what your why is. And by the way, your why changes, it morphs. It becomes something, and it takes on a life of its own. And allow that to happen for yourselves, and don't be very rigid and think that you wrote down your why and you have to live exactly for what that why is. Most people today are coming into direct sales and network marketing and e-commerce like we are in Golby, because the economy is still not in great shape after the pandemic. And we're looking now 2 years, 3 years, 4 years down the road. The economy has not really recuperated. I just heard a story about a young man who has 3 little kids at home under the age of 7, and he's working 4 jobs. 4 jobs. And I think the person who shared the story with me told me what his schedule was, and it looked like he had 2 hours in between 2 of the jobs. So he wouldn't even go home to visit with his family and his children. He would just go from job to job to job to job. Now, he joined e-commerce company Golby, and he is going to be earning starting with $100, $300, $500, and $700, and $1,000 a month. And when he does that, and we shared with him, it was somebody else sponsored him and is guiding him and training him. But he said to his sponsor, when I'm going to get to a 5x5, I'm going to get to a 4x4. Gosh, I can get rid of one of my jobs if I can just make the $300 a month champion bonus, which is recurring income. It's just one part of the compensation plan. $500 a month would change his life, would change his family's life. He can actually become a participant in his children's life. When he attains the 5x5, which is a residual of $700 a month, with all the other monies involved in that, it's $1,000, could be $1,500, could be even $2,000 a month. That's life-changing for him. He said, shucks, at that rate, I could, get rid of 2 of my jobs and reclaim my life, reinvigorate my marriage, get to know my wife again and my children again. So for this young man, his why is very, very poignant for him, and it's his guiding light. And although we at Govi know that we have some extraordinary products, we have 4 different product groups that with life-changing products. They're all trillion-dollar industry products, all by themselves in each category. But he's not even focusing on the products. He's focusing on the business opportunity because his why is driving him. It's the money that's driving him. It's going to change his life. So not everybody comes to us with that kind of a motivation, but more often than not, as you're speaking with people, you find out that they do have a motivation, and it generally is they could use an extra $300 to $400 to $500 at the end of the month, especially these days. Kids are going off to college. They're not all getting scholarships. They need extra money. Rents are raising, mortgage rates are raising. Today, you can't buy a house any place in the country for under $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, maybe even more. Places like California, New York, New Jersey, it's going to cost you almost $1 million. That's for just somebody starting out. So how are we going to sustain ourselves and or our families during these times? We're going to have to look for other ways to do that. So we look inside ourselves. We know what we need. We might not know the path that we have to take, but people are looking for avenues that will fit into their lives so they can start on a part-time basis, and then they can actually build their secondary income until it surpasses, if they're fortunate enough to have a job or 2 or 3 or 4, like this young man I was talking about a minute ago. And this would be life-changing for them. So you don't need to sponsor, you don't need to attract hundreds and hundreds of people in your first couple of weeks. All you need to do is find a couple of people who have a why, a personal why, find out what that why is, show them that you have the skills and you understand the path it is that they're going to have to travel, and you're there to help them maneuver through that journey and help them so that they can attain whatever it is that their goals and dreams are. And you know, the coaches down throughout history, all the great coaches in all the different sports will tell their athletes, when we win this game, that's not the end of our goals. We have an entire season. So we have to focus on the next game. And then when we win that game, we focus on the next game. And somebody's going to win the Heisman Trophy if it's football. Somebody's going to win MVP if it's in baseball or hockey. And you will have people striving for those things because they're self-motivated, but they also tap into the guidance and the knowledge that they get from their coaches, from their guides, from their mentors. So that's what helps sustain them. So this is not a singular endeavor. When you're in direct sales and network marketing, you're going to be building and growing a team. And so open up yourself so that you let people know that you are caring, that you're considerate of them, that you want to help them, that you know the ways, the steps that they need to take so that they will become successful, and you help them get there. And of course, you help them get there by doing 3-way calls, teaching, doing trainings like this training call that I do every week, tapping them into whatever the resources are that your particular company has, and make sure that you are giving them not only whatever they need, but what you know that they need that they might not know that they need. I'll say that again. You're going to give them the skills that they need and teach them the things that they need that they may not know that they need, because you are their guide, you are their mentor, you are their coach. And this is a team sport. Network marketing, direct sales, e-commerce, whatever you want to call it, is a team sport. And one of the most gratifying things over my 30-year career in network marketing and direct sales has been attending conventions and sitting in the back of the room instead of the front of the room and watching my folks sit up in the front and going up onto the stage and accepting awards or going through the ranks and hitting new ranks and attaining the levels, the financial levels that they need to do. That to me is very gratifying, and it means more to me than anything. And when you let people know that you care about them and you're investing yourself, your time, your energy, and what you know, your skills to help them get where they want to go, you are actually sharing their why. They will share their why with you, and you will share back with them that you are invested in that why, because if it's important to them, it's important to you. So back in the 1800s, Friedrich Nietzsche, who was kind of like a weird philosopher, he had some off the wall kinds of thoughts. He said, "He who has a why in life can tolerate almost any how." Now, he wasn't talking about direct sales or network marketing or e-commerce. He was just talking about life in general. That if you have a why that's big enough, you will walk through fire to get there. You will tolerate almost anything that is thrown your way. Tony Robbins built his success on teaching people, giving masterminds and teaching people how to walk on coals, lit coals. And it's mind over matter, but also if people have a big enough why and they motivate themselves, they can do just about anything. So you want to let people know that you are their secret weapon. You're going to be their secret weapon. You're going to be a team player. You're going to share with them all their aspirations, all their dreams, and you're going to show them the pathway that they need to take and help them to develop the skills to get there. So thanks so much for listening. I wish you a blessed rest of the week. And if somebody invited you to listen to this training, thanks for being here. They thought enough about you. If you have any questions, contact them. And we'll see you on the other side. Bye-bye.